Hi, good afternoon, everybody. In this video, the 5 steps to the Sabres becoming a winning franchise again. Coming up. All right, one of those ideas I had in my head, I wanted to do. Told you guys I want to put some fun videos out there, but I'm serious about all this too. It's not just for fun. And we'll just get on it right away. So I got 5 steps to becoming a winning franchise again. And before we start, okay, the COVID-40 update, as I told you folks, every Saturday, I'm going to update the COVID-40 situation, my diet. COVID-40 is now COVID COVID 27 and a half. I had a very good week, folks. Very good week. I was disciplined 100%. No cheating. I was active. So far, so good. Oh, let me get this out of here before I write on this jersey, because I will lose my mind if that happened. My God. Let me get that over there. All right. All right. So let's, and more to be continued next Saturday. I'm going for 7.5 pounds this week. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's get on this. Now, I've put these in the best order I could, okay? Because if I do it any other way, it just didn't make sense for me, the order. Where are we? There we go. If the Sabres are going to get anywhere as a franchise again, I believe all this stuff has to take place. Okay, all players must push 100% or cut. All players must push 100% or they're cut. There's no room for lazy, there's no room for slack, there's no room for this isn't in my contract, whatever. There's no room for it now. This is a survival test for our franchise, what we're going to go through very soon. And we have got to have the right attitude in the dressing room, even if we don't have the right talent. Because then when the right talent comes in, the right attitude's already there. Ask franchises like Boston. You know, they can take a deadbeat like Taylor Hall and resurrect him to a certain degree. Come on, that says a lot about their franchise. All right, so all players have to push 100%. Not negotiable. Not negotiable. Number 4, I think, is obvious. Because if we're going to go anywhere, let me just mark one more word. They have to 100% buy into Granato as well. I didn't put 100%, but buy it completely is 100%. Buy into Granato's system. We can't have players that have come from other teams or whatever they're used to and they just, oh, I'll try it today. No, it's like, this is the way it's run here. That's it. It's not negotiable. Kind of how like Rob Ray runs our golf tournaments or whatever it is he does, you know. Yeah, if players come in here, they've got to understand, and I'm pretty sure like certain veterans eventually are just going to point out to him, no, you can't do that. That doesn't happen here or whatever it is. You know, there's got to be a work ethic of 100%. That's easily there. And they have to completely buy into the coach, because we're not going to know what the coach is trying to teach these guys unless they completely buy into them. We can't have like 12 guys and 5 or 6 others, 7 others that say, no, I don't want to do it this way. So if we have that, that's a base. That's a base for a healthy franchise. So I want to get back on this. And once they buy into the system, which is important. Because if they don't buy into it, then there's no point going up the ladder with these other things, because they have to. They just have to be 100% into this. It has to be, and it sounds like it in the interviews. I'm very impressed in the interviews. All right, number 3. Be fearless and thorough right from the start of this. Like right from the start of Granato's system, just trust them and do it thoroughly, not half-heartedly. They got to do it thoroughly. And if they do it thoroughly, at least then we'll understand what is going on, what the results are. What we have, what they have themselves inside them. Because we already know Granato's going to let them freewheel. We know this already. So imagine if Granato makes this team, guys, half respectable this year, just half respectable with that lineup. You guys have seen it. We're what, 6.1 million under the cap, technically speaking. So what does he have to work with? He doesn't have much. This is what I'm banking on. If the team's going to overachieve, they're going to completely respond to Granato and float around or close to 500 for a while. That's what I'm hoping. That is what I'm hoping. I want to be as realistic as possible. I know I picked them 5th in the division, but because I believe they're going to overachieve. Overachieve means they could just have a winning season. I know they shouldn't. I know this should be a team in the 60s, the points in the 60s, most likely by the end of the year. But what if I'm wrong? What if this team surprises the world this year? That happens in sports. It could happen. And then all of a sudden, up comes Owen Power and Peterka's finding the net and all sorts of things. We just don't know. We don't know. So be fearless and thorough right from the beginning. Right from the beginning, they've got to come in and just be fearless about it and apply what they're being taught. Because, there's so many issues that can happen if they give 70%, 80%. And there's going to be guys that do that. I'll tell you right now, folks, not everybody's going to buy into it. They're going to have to get rid of those other guys that don't. I got number 2, to unite as a team. I'll finish it. To unite as a team on and off the ice, okay? And when I'm talking off the ice, I'm talking about how other players will have other players' backs, even in post-game interviews and stuff, No hinting, this guy did this wrong, this guy. According to some Sabres players, they're calling each other out this year, which I like. I think Granato's implemented that already. Like, call each other out when you're on the bench. It's not a bad thing. It saves Granato time. Tage Thompson was talking about that, talking about how, he's encouraging this to call each other out, get each other to be better. Because this is going to be a year of learn. It could be a monster year of surprise, which is what I predicted, but I am like a fan, so it shouldn't count. But it's going to be a year of learn, and it's going to be a year we don't want to waste of learn. We want to make sure that this team is not just playing games and scoring more goals or doing a few more hits. We want to make sure that on and off the ice that they're uniting more and more, because as they get older, they're going to get better, this core. And as they get better, there's going to come a time that this team has to now play in a playoff series. So we got to look at this. So yeah, the team has to unite on and off the ice. And once, again, about playoffs, as well as me, folks, it could be our first go in and into the playoffs, they win the Stanley Cup. It's just the way the NHL is now. It's just the way it is. We might win a cup before Colorado, as crazy as that sounds. We might win a cup in 5 years, and Colorado still didn't get one in this era. It doesn't have any mercy, the Stanley Cup, so you just never know. But for the record, I think Colorado this year are going to be hard to stop. So unite as a team on and off the ice. That's why I underlined off, because that's important. These guys got to have each other's backs. And if a team doesn't care about each other, they're not much of a team off the ice. This is why a guy like Evander Kane would be tempting to take just to like get, because the odds are the league might ban him and we'll get a free first rounder for taking him maybe, So one of you guys mentioned about Kane, a few of you have. And I would take him, okay, just because we could get maybe a first rounder back. If we can't get a first rounder, no, we don't take him. We don't take the contract. We don't do any of that. And Kane might try to do the runaway thing and come over to Buffalo thinking he can hide out in the league there. Who knows? All right, and number 1. How did I word it? Okay. This is where the alumni comes in also. Understand it's an honor to be a Sabre. Understand it once and for all. I would even tell these guys, stay away from social media, please, if you can, because they're so negative. It can, reinforce negativity. Too much of it out there. Oh, I wish the Sabres fans deserve better. Well, I wish Darlene would get out of town. Next thing you hear, it's like, make up your mind. Like, I hear these things online. I'm like, come on. Like, understand it's an honor to be a Sabre. It is. We have a proud history. We have a long history. And we really have a great history, except winning a Stanley Cup. It's the only thing missing on our resume. Outside of that, we got so many great moments, so many good times, and that should not be forgotten. And if they can get this when they're wearing the logo and they're proud to wear the logo, okay? They're going to want to defend the logo when they're on the road playing, when they're at home playing. They're going to feel an obligation, because these guys are not just my teammates, they're my best friends in real life too. And when we can get that kind of thing going, that kind of group going, I always say a team's not a team unless you give a damn about each other. And if you don't give a damn about each other, forget it. Forget it. Can't be, distractions, which Kane would be. Can't be distractions. Has to be just, we fight for each other no matter what. We're going all the way. It doesn't matter what people think, It doesn't matter. Just keep going. And that would be the thing. I mean, if they ever got into the playoffs this year, we'd be the first team picked to lose the first round. I bet anybody would say, oh, well, the Sabres now, that's just a negative out there. And I think it would be easy for the players if they had a team meeting and said, look, guys, stay away from social media. It's all negative. It's crap. Stay away from it. These are just armchair GMs that really don't know much, except they're trying to get hits. Stay away from videos, stay away from the news. Stay away from it. You guys know what we have in the dressing room. They don't need to know, because the truth is, guys, we don't know what we have in this dressing room. Regardless of that roster, we don't know. We just don't. We don't. We can be like, we can predict they're bad. Hey, how much guts does that take when the payroll's like $54 million? How much guts does that take, guys? Come on. That's easy to predict. Be a little hard. Be a little tough with it. Look at the possibility of these things uniting a team. And I never doubt the heart of a player. If our heart is strong, this team could go and really surprise a lot this year. We're going to find out what we have of this. Forget the talent on the roster. That means shit. It means nothing, okay? It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. I've seen teams win the Stanley Cup that weren't the best. 93 Habs, perfect example. That was not a very good team. They just had a goalie. 99 Sabres almost did it. But we had, I believe, the 99 Sabres are much stronger than the 93 Habs, in my opinion. We had much more leadership, much more grit. We were much more well coached. So there was a lot of things going. If we have a really good coach this year, and I think we might, okay, if we have a really good coach this year, who's to know that this can't transform into a bunch of wins that we weren't supposed to get during the season. We just don't know, guys. We don't know. You know, I know some of you are like programmed to believe in losing. I'm not, okay? I'm not. I never will be. It's just not in me. Even when I played, guys, I could be down in a game. You know, I can remember all sorts of memories I have in hockey where, because I didn't quit believing, we came back. Not every time, but we did. You know, it was important because I was one of the key guys on the team at the time. This is it. This is what I believe can transform the Sabres not only back to winning, but back to being a contender one day. Once we got the proper lineup in there. Yes, there's holes. Yes, we need drafting. Yes, we need trades. Maybe we need free agency. I'm not banking on free agency. No. Outside of Numanen, I don't remember too many good free agent signings, guys, in our entire history. Not many. Good trades? Yes, we had a bunch of good trades in our history. I've had people say to me something like the most ridiculous players that we lost. I'm like, you're going to count this as like that we lost a second-round pick for that or this? And I'm like, so what? No, but when you get a guy like Hasek for nothing, you know, this will draw a trade like that, I believe. All this draws positivity onto your franchise. And if you do that, the sky's the limit. I honestly believe that in my heart. Thanks for listening, folks. See you in the next video. Have a good one.